monde, c'est Enzo pour Detroit Pistons France et on se retrouve aujourd'hui pour une nouvelle interview. Après vous avoir offert un entretien avec Cunningham, on se retrouve aujourd'hui pour une interview avec Frank Garza, le père de Luka Garza. Nous l'avons contacté sur Twitter pour savoir s'il était open ou pas pour une interview avec nous. C'est avec un grand plaisir qu'il a accepté et grâce à lui, nous pouvons vous offrir cet entretien exclusif à Detroit Pistons France. Je vous laisse profiter de cet entretien et on se retrouve à la fin de la vidéo pour vous partager mes impressions.
Thank you, Mr. Garza, to be with us. It's an honor for me to talk with you.
Well,
I
you're most
like
welcome. It's an honor for me too.
I like your mindset. I really love it. The Piston chart, the Luka Garza back. It's insane. I love it.
I so appreciate you guys taking an interest in Luka and immediately seeing, his heart. He's a big old, he plays with a lot of emotion, right? He plays with a lot of passion because he loves the game so much. And so I appreciate you seeing that. That means a lot to me. So
we really love Luka a lot. He's one of the most loved player in the Pistons community. He's really
I appreciate you saying that. There's so many wonderful players, but I really appreciate you saying that. I appreciate you saying that.
Thank you. So let's start the questions. Luka had a really good last NCAA year. He was like 24 points per game. He was one of the best players on the NCAA. Were you expecting to be drafted in this late second round, despite Luka NCAA stats?
Kind of crazy, isn't he? He's the best player in college America, and he's not even in the top. The best player in college doesn't necessarily equate in the NBA. It's a different game. So I wasn't surprised. We had the expectation that he might not even be drafted. And we were ready for that because then we would get on a 2-way, maybe a 10-day, maybe something. We were going to get there. Now, in the history of the NCAA, there has never been a situation where the player of the year wasn't drafted. So we felt comfortable and confident that he would get picked. It just, would it be 60, 50, or 40? We were hoping for the 40s, but we were okay if we didn't get drafted at all. So we were ready. We were ready either way.
How does he feel in the Pistons team? He's happy of his summer league and his preseason game.
He learned a lot in preseason, and he it served its perfect purpose. The summer league I think was great because he was able to show his ability to shoot, his ability to fade away, his ability to pass, his ability to protect the rim. You're right, his ability to play some defense. So I thought that was really good. But the preseason was tough and hard. For the Pistons overall.
Yeah,
the injuries, new guys in this, that, but that's what preseason's about. So overall, he's ready to go Wednesday. He's ready for the seasons to start. That Luka isn't typical. He's different, right? So that's what makes him, I think, valuable. He's not typical because he can stretch the court. He could go inside. He can pass.
We used to say in the Piston France group that he's the best Luka in the league. How can he improve his game? A lot of media mention his lack of mobility. What are your thoughts about this?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's true. Luka's foot speed is not the fastest, so he's making some adjustments to start sooner, to start before it happens, to anticipate. You can be a player without being an incredible athlete, and that's what Luka's trying to find out and trying to figure out, and he will. Kelly on the team is a very clever player, and he's helping him figure that out too. So he'll get there. He'll get.
How does he work this summer to match with the run and gun system played by the coaching staff this season?
Well, it's a great question. In Iowa, the coach there, Fran McCaffrey, was very much a run and shoot it. So Luka loves that pace. He loves to get it up and down. So Luka, it's not so much walking the ball up. That doesn't work good with him. It's running the court, getting open for the three, passing, beating the big man down the court, because Luka will beat the big man down the court, even though he's the slowest, because he'll get down there faster and he'll run 100% all the time, where some centers, maybe they'll run 60%, 70%, 80%. Well, maybe this time I'll run 100%. Luka has no choice. It's 100 or 0. Because if he runs 97, he has to sit down because it's not fast enough. He has to run 100% all the time. So that's his habit. So the run and gun is good for him, because he'll beat the center down, or he'll get the offensive rebound, because the big center's not running down. He's taking his time. He's running 60%. So I think it's going to help Luka. And I think it's going to be great to watch, to see Jeremy, to see Josh out there, to see Kay, to Killian and all his passing. And then Sadiq. I mean, it's going to be some.
Ben Wallace has just joined the Piston front office lately. What is Luka expecting to learn from him, from this Piston legend?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Luka's so excited when Ben came around. Mr. Wallace came to the practice. He was so excited. We watched Mr. Wallace play, right, when Luka was in school, right? So we watched those championships. So what Luka wants to learn from Coach Wallace is, how do I be a champion, in the NBA? How do we do it? And the best way to learn how to be a champion is to hang out with another champion, right? You can read about it, but listen, you can't get the taste of a peach in a book, right? You can't get the taste of a championship in a book. You got to have a guy telling you, who's been through it, who went through a restoration process here at Detroit, right? Brought back the championship. So Luka's excited. I think it's a tremendous asset to the club, and I'm so happy that Luka's surrounded by a bunch of highly skilled professionals that know what they're doing. It's a great environment to learn. He's learning at a level he hasn't ever before. So happy about that. He's getting better every day.
What wise words we say. That was very, very wise.
Thank you.
At the start of the season, Luka was a two-way contract, and
Yes.
then he has been upgraded to a standard 2-year contract. What
Yes.
was his reaction to this news?
He was well, it was a dream come true, right? Signing and becoming a roster. The two-way was close, but it wasn't a roster spot, right? It was a two-way. You're not part of the NBA in the two-way. You're not an employee of the NBA. You're outside of it. So he wanted a two-way. He wanted to have a roster spot. That was the whole purpose. So until he got that, he wasn't satisfied. So as soon as that was signed, then he took a deep breath and took a moment to appreciate the fact that, and I put it on Twitter when he was a little kid. I had him write out goals, and he put that goal. I want to make it the NBA and be successful. That kind of stuff. And so that was the dream come true, right? A whole full circle. It's like he wrote that when he was 11, and 11 years later, it came true. And so it was for our whole family, here and in former Yugoslavia and in Italy, because Luka's 3 cousins are all playing professionally in Italy. Amar Alabegovic, Mirza Alabegovic, and Dennis Alabegovic. I can tweet you what clubs they play on, Enzo. You can see, but everyone was happy. It was a big moment in our family's history.
You must be so proud of this event.
Yes, yeah, very much.
It's very beautiful to know this. I didn't know that he was expecting this since he's 11. It's really, really beautiful.
Yeah, no, we wrote it down, we visualized it, so that's what happened. So when he was in the 8th and 9th grade and totally getting beat up on, and he'd grab the ball and someone would just rip it out of his hands because he wasn't very strong. He was tripping over the baseline, which is painted, right? Trip over it, right? He just had big old feet, couldn't move them fast enough. I said, hey, don't worry about it. It doesn't matter how you are as a 9th grader. It matters where you're going to be when you're 20. So let's focus on where we want to be not where we are. And that full circle, that 11-year-old who wrote it, 22-year-old, 11 years later came true. So that's kind of cool, huh?
It's really, really cool. It's
yeah, no,
it's a beautiful story.
Hey, listen, if Luka can do it, that's just a sign that anybody can do it, right? In terms of
Will.
sticking to something, have a goal, stick to it, make it happen.
It's really, you should tell this story to Hollywood right now.
Well, hey, Enzo, you got to be my agent. You got to be our agent, man. I think with your voice and your good looks, you could convince them to maybe do it. I don't know.
Who are Luka's model player?
Well, in hoops, there's so many. There's so many. I think, of course, he loves LeBron and in LeBron's story, but he also loves Hakeem. The dream story. How his, what he did, how he came through it. He loves, of course, Kareem and Jack Sigma and there's so many others that I'm leaving out because I'm just having a moment right now. But so many we watched: Kevin McHale, Larry Bird, Bill Walton, Will Chamberlain. At the Shack. The big. I remember I put in I told Luka, okay, yeah, you could watch TV, but I didn't have cable. I had a little VCR cord, and all that he could watch were basketball. I mean, it was like there was no other choice. but I mean, you could watch maybe his sister's cartoon little thing. He didn't want to watch that, but he loved basketball. So I mean, I did have some control over what he was watching. But anyway, so he put in a tape. So one game he was watching the Big Shack. It was a big. It was like a 30-minute thing, and then he went out and played that night. He was out doing the Shack thing, smashing around. So all of those folks he looks up to, and his favorite, of course, is LeBron. It always has been. But he's learned from everyone along the way. And he, you can see it in his game, Enzo. You can see Sigma. You can see Hakeem's spin. You can see Kareem's hook, and pretty soon his sky hook when he gets to it. You can see Larry Bird's little step back.
I just wanted to mention it. Now that you say it, his shoot really looks like Bird one. And
yeah, he does.
When you say Larry Bird, I was like, oh yes, it's true. It's Larry Bird shoot. It's true.
Yeah, high up over his head, long, boom. It's very
unique. He elbow here and then.
Yep, exactly right. So he's taken what he thinks to be the best, and we've incorporated it in, to his. You
shared the video of Luka working under the basket and just push up, and then push up. This video went viral. What was your role in Luka basketball player development?
Gotcha. Well, a great question. I have always been responsible for Luka's development as a player. It's something I had great coaches, Enzo. I mean, I know stuff that probably no one else knows about the game because the people that had taught it to me are no longer living, and now those things I taught Luka are in his game. So he'll teach it on to his kids. But basketball is something I know a lot about. I know a lot about development, how to go from here to here, how to not just outside, but also inner game, meditation, pranayama, visual motor rehearsal, rehearsing the future, bringing the future to the present, even though it's not here yet, so you're comfortable with it. I mean, Luka had to get comfortable with being player of the year. You have to get comfortable. You just can't just happen. You have to expect it. So you have to practice that between your ears. Because Enzo, isn't this true? It's in basketball and life. But in basketball, the first shot is between the ears.
Yeah, it's right. It's very.
It's the first shots between the ears. It's not the defense. It's not the ball. It's not the wind. It's what you're telling yourself. So my role in Luka's, it still is today. First off, I'm his shooting coach. If he has a bad shot, or if he has a bad shooting, that's on me. I was a great shooter. I'm still a great shooter. I am Enzo. Listen to me. I'm a great shooter.
I want to see a 3-point contest between you and Luka.
Well, I'm older now, so I'd have to move it into 19 feet. But Luka can shoot better than me from distance. But when it comes to a hook shot from 15 feet or free throws, Dad still has a few good But anyway, so I was always a great shooter. And so I taught that to Luka. But I also taught him the game. So my job was his development. And it's always been that way. And because every summer we'd go away and come back better. Go away where we could do a laboratory and I could just have all day with him, 3 workouts a day. And then he'd come back better. Now, listen, it takes a village to grow a basketball player, a professional. So there's many hands in the role. But here's how I describe it, Enzo, is success has 1,000 fathers, defeat but one. I am the one.
Oh, you remind me of De Niro. You're really a real life De Niro. It's really the kind of sentence that De Niro would say.
Oh, is that right? No. So listen, when things go bad, you don't hear anything from those other 1,000 people. But I'm here. I'm where the buck stops. Bang. That's my role.
Yeah.
With my son.
You really seem proud of him. It's beautiful to see it.
Well, thank
beautiful. You. I hope I have the same kind of relationship with my son. I really hope.
Oh yeah. Well, you will, Enzo. Just the fact that you see it means it's already in you. So know that you be comfortable.
Well, what are his goals for this season?
Yeah. Thank you. Great question. So his goals are to, and we've talked about this recently, is to find where he can best contribute. So while the game's going on, like the other night when they played on Friday, the 15th, it was to go in there, grab some boards, make your free throws, and wall up on defense. So he went out and found that role. The previous couple of games, he had a hard time finding out what that was. So the goal is to consistently, every night out, because now it's 80-something games, right? 82 games.
82.
You only have 30 in college, right? So it's like, whoa, it's a different adjustment. So his job is going to be find out where he can contribute and lift where he can. So if he comes in 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 2 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is, that's what he's going to do. He's going to get out there and find out where he can help the team win, and to do it consistently and at a high level. And then on defense, he wants to be in position where he has his hands up on defense before the guy shoots, so he's always ready to, and he wants to keep the guy in front of him, so that no one gets by him. And those are some very powerful, goals. And he wants to be, doing that is trying to be the best teammate you can be, and that's what he wants to be. You'll notice, and so he's first off the bench. Say, hey guys, he wants to be first off the bench, first to the gym, because he wants to back up how he feels about Detroit in terms of his practice and his behavior.
Last question. What are Luka's biggest dreams?
Well, I haven't asked him that in a while. For a while there was making the NBA. Right now it's he's going to, he's in the process to reevaluate it, but he wants to leave a mark. He wants to have as long as the career as he can in the NBA. But he also has some other dreams that are going to be, he's going to be announcing later in November. He's going to be announcing in November about some things that he wants to do in his business, in his role as a businessman, in the area of name, image, likeness, NIL. He wants to do some stuff in the NFT world because he's done his own NFT card. We've done some things there. And he wants to do something in the community. He wants to do something in Detroit that's going to make a difference. You know, he wants to find out what that is. And so his goals here is to try and have a lifestyle balance. Sport, be good on that. Community, there's something for the community, and something on the business, and something that feeds his soul.
I really like this answer. Usually players would say, I want to be NBA champions, I want to be MVP, but I really like this answer.
Yeah, you know, it's like every day one brick in the foundation. We know if he goes out and finds out how he can contribute to the team, you know, we know we're working hard enough. You know, his whole life, Enzo, we started doing 3-a-days when he was a sophomore in high school. So he's been doing 3-a-days for that long. So he has, you know, well over 15,000. Probably if you did the math, it's in the 19,000 hours of practice. So now it's just the application, the skillful application of all that work and being ready. And so we know if he does that, I mean, we didn't set out to be the best player in college basketball. What we set out to be is that to bend our legs every time we catch the ball ready to shoot. We focused on catching the ball in balance, in range, and ready to shoot, and that's your first move. We focused on being able to shoot the ball at a certain high percentage rate and being open to do it. And we know if we did that, chances are we'd be very successful. But we found, you know, if you focus on, oh, I want to be player of the year, it'll never happen. But if you focus on what, because you can't control that. But if you can focus on what you can control versus what you can't, you're going to get better. And that's, so there's no ceiling. So Luka, if he does that, we'll see where he goes, just like in college. But what we're going to focus on is what we can control. Catching the ball in balance, bending our legs, having our hands up, shooting, helping our teammates. And then it's in God's hands, you know. Once the ball leaves your hands, there's nothing you can do, baby. Right? So it starts here. Well, it starts here in the heart,
in the head,
that makes this go, and then it comes out physically. It manifests on the outside.
I really love I really love talking to you. It's awesome. I love your answer.
Well, I appreciate it, Enzo. It's been fun talking with you, and I hope we get to talk again. You know, it's a long season. Let's talk again, maybe sometime in the season, see what's happening.
It would be a pleasure. But we could talk again at the end of season to make what you thought about the season. Where
No, well, just I mean, I like one day I think Luka will be playing in Europe, right? He'll with his cousins. One day he may play in France. He may play in Italy. So I love for people to get to know him, and I love France. My gosh.
If you are in France someday, you have our Twitter. Send a message and we will come. I want to see you shoot. I want to see you shoot.
Oh yeah, baby. Yeah, you do it, baby. Well, listen, I'm just telling you, it's like I generally tell people, and it's the same thing with Luka. It's like, hey, listen, watch out now. You don't want to stand right underneath the basket because the ball's going to come through and it's going to hit you in the face. So you better have your hands up because I don't miss. So guys, you know how people stand underneath the basket, they gotta have their hands down. Well, if you do that when Luka and I shoot, the ball will come down, hit your face, break your nose. So it's like, hey. So no, we'll go out, Enzo. We'll check it out. We could rebound for the old man.
I will get that rebound. I guarantee you will get that rebound.
All right, hey, listen, I'm gonna post some hook shots for you tonight. I'm gonna do a little tweet out for you.
Maybe in hook shot, I think you're better than me because I really do. I'm not used to do hook shot, but at threes and at free throw, I'm really good. So
all right, let's do it. Well, listen, and my first question generally when I do a contest like this, I usually say, would you like to do it left-handed or right-handed? Because I'm good in either hand.
Oh yeah. I think I free throw I can shoot left hand because I'm a right-hander. But free throw I can shoot left hand. But from three,
good.
I can.
All right, I like that answer.
And
then I usually say, well, here's my second question: is it just one-handed or two-handed?
Ooh, it's tough. It's very tough.
Because I can do either one. To learn how to shoot, you got to do it not only just both hands. You got to do it one hand on either side.
Thank you, Mr. Garza.
Super. All right, you too, Enzo. All right, bye-bye.
Comme vous avez pu le voir au travers de cette vingtaine de minutes d'entretien, Frank Garza est quelqu'un avec qui j'ai beaucoup aimé parler. Il paraît très naturel, très sûr de son fils, très aimant et très fier. On a beaucoup rigolé. Je ne m'attendais pas à avoir quelqu'un d'aussi proche, d'aussi agréable. C'est quelqu'un d'assez âgé quand même, comparé à moi qui suis jeune, qui a la vingtaine, lui doit avoir la soixantaine. Mais on a beaucoup rigolé, on a passé un très bon moment, lui comme moi, je pense. Bon, en montage, j'ai gardé que les parties où on parlait de basket. Mais sachez qu'on a parlé de vin, de fromage, de généraux de guerre français. On a vraiment parlé de tout et n'importe quoi. Et de façon très naturelle. Le sujet a toujours été amené très naturellement. C'est quelqu'un avec une grande culture. On sent que c'est un travailleur, quelqu'un qui aime parler, qui aime se cultiver. Et ça a été vraiment une grande expérience pour moi de parler avec un homme aussi érudit que lui, si je puis dire. J'espère que cette interview vous aura plu. On se retrouve très prochainement sur Detroit Pistons France. Je vous invite à vous abonner à la chaîne, à nous suivre sur notre Twitter, ce n'est pas déjà le cas. D'autres projets arrivent, d'autres nouvelles, d'autres interviews peut-être. Je ne vais pas en dire plus. Mais merci à vous d'avoir regardé cette vidéo. N'hésitez pas à dire dans les commentaires ce que vous en pensez. Si vous avez des interviews que vous aimeriez avoir, on fera le maximum pour les avoir aussi. À la prochaine.